as well as playing this more puggy style.
Yeah, to a degree,
win.
I think that in this game there might need to be a little bit of a pug or the ranked experience brought forward into this game, because I think, you know, you look at EXO Clan as a whole, they've got a big history when it comes to this map as well. You know, you got Iron's famous play with that operator down at that B site, the no scopes coming through at the stairs. That was a flawless one. So it really is going to align for me, I think, is, you know, EXO's going to play their game. They're going to mix up some aggression with some slower plays, some more methodical plays. It will be on to Gravitas, because, you know, leaning into this, it would be a, I wouldn't say extreme heavy favor for EXO, but I would say it's definitely in the ballpark that EXO would be, you know, maybe the crowd favorite for this one. The expected outcome.
I think it would definitely be expected to EXO to win. I mean, you were saying before broadcast about 75-25, you know, 60-40. It's tight, but I think that EXO will come out. The aim is on Gravitas. I just want to see them turn up. I just want to see them play loose. I don't want to be scared. It's really all the expectation is on EXO. And if Gravitas get a 10-round, 11-round performance, I think that would be about par for them. Or how they expect.
You got to remember as well, in a BO1, there's no chance for redemption, right? It's they've got 5 matches to be able to play, and they got to try and give it their all in all of these. It's not like a best of 3 at the current time. That'll be moving further on into the Rise of Valor. Right now, it is I wouldn't say do or die, but it's like give these games your all. So I'm going to be interested to see, you know, what are Gravitas going to be able to bring to the table right now. You know, we know the players on these rosters, so, you know, Spikes for Gravitas. I'm really looking to see if the headshots are going to be contributing for him, if all of the shots are going to be coming through for the team as a whole. So without further ado, I guess why don't we send it in towards Ascent? But do you have a prediction? What are we going to see?
EXO will take it out, and Plix will be on a rampage because he's on such great form at the moment. The stats from previous encounters or previous tournaments have been insane from Plix. He's been on fire. So I expect him to pick up the Reina probably and continue to dominate. But I think that there'll be glimpses of hope for Gravitas. I do think this roster has a lot of talent involved, and they've also got very experienced leaders. So maybe 8 to 10 rounds for Gravitas.
Right there.
I was thinking going into this, are we going to see Noz change it up and bring out a Brimstone? Because it was, well, you know, back in the day, Noz was bringing out the Brimstone, not as opposed to on this map per se. But have a look at the agents right now. We've got the Breach coming through for Gravitas, the stable 4 for everyone else, and then you got the Reina for Plix expected over on EXO Clans. So a bit of a balanced affair right now, bleeding into, I guess, aggression, right? Because in this matchup, EXO Clan fabled for big aggressive plays, more slanted over towards the A side than the B side, but, you know, the flexing can come out from them willy-nilly. Gravitas, though, starting on this attacking side, they are going to try and lead the directive in this game because, you know, you go into it, you're trying to tackle against the gods of Valorant right now. It's EXO Clan.
Yeah, and they're going to be very careful for the aggression, as you said. It's a very aggressive lineup out of EXO. No Breach. They are going to go for the Reina instead. Noz, probably the most experienced player on this Gravitas team. We'll poke ahead to see what's there. It looks like they will try and set up for the A play. Eye high, eye in the sky. The drone deployed early on. It will actually spot out Plix. Plix could get isolated here. If he doesn't get the first frag, he might be all done. He is. But the trade comes back from Dizzy and Crunchy already in there. So it's a big burner at the start. Noz has managed to get 2, so it's a 2 for 3 trade, Dion. Who's this favoring?
Well, of course, it's going to favor EXO Clan right now, but you'd love to see the spike to be planted from Gravitas. The door has been blown on through. Great shot from Cloxy, but it's all going to be down to Noz. 1 versus 1 going up against Iron. But where is he going to expect him to be playing from? We saw no players for EXO over at that B-side nice and early. And Iron will catch Noz in the back of the head, give him a little bit of a once over. No spike down for Gravitas, and only 1 player surviving for EXO. It will be coming into this purchase, but I got to say, you know, second round, are you a player when you jump into a game of Valorant that second round ghosts, or do you upgrade?
I upgrade because I don't trust myself, but it is probably, I could see Iron just staying on, so he probably will just stay on the Ghost, but that's not a bad round out of Gravitas. They managed to get some early picks there, managed to isolate Plix and get him before he gets that first frag. That's so important. Of course, Reina able to reset relatively quickly as well. Looks like they'll be switching up to go to B, and wow, the fast line comes out. Plix got isolated once more, but the second blow will come through to get the double spray down. And just lead away as well, and he gets the third. That's a quick one. Plix, right place, right time. He's read both of those now. He's ready to meet the engagement in both sides of the map already.
Yeah, a little bit better in that round, I guess you would say, for EXO Clan, not dropping a single player when it comes down to that anti-eco. Not even really an anti-eco, all things considered. It was a full save to come through from Gravitas, and knowing that they get all their Vandals and the Phantoms and what have you in this third round. So as I always say, you know, kind of ignore those first 2 rounds. This is where you really get into the meat of the game. This is where, if you are that attacking side, if you are Gravitas, you got to try and give it your all. You know, you got to make sure you're not dropping all this weaponry. You got to get your ultimates out as early as possible. Really start to, you know, explore and navigate the weak points of EXO Clan. And, you know, with all the games that we've seen from EXO in history, there's a lot that can be pieced out to find all their weaknesses, right? At Gravitas, if they've done their research, which I guess you would expect them to do, there's a lot that they can look to punish in this one.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if they... I don't think Crunchy was scouted to have the shotgun in the last round. This is the bonus round coming out, so you got Spectres, you got odds and sods like the shotguns and whatever else. I think Iron still has the pistol, the Ghost, so... Gravitas just looking for a stack, you'd assume, and at the moment they're poking around. I haven't seen much information-wise.
Yeah, well, it's going to come down to when that operator comes through for me. I think if Dizzy Life is going to really be able to be punishing on that. And I guess likewise over towards Gravitas, you know, the Jet operator, it was nerfed. I wouldn't say into the ground, but it was, you know,
close to it.
Nearly. Yeah, you heard Kaida mention it earlier on in that, in that interview, which was really cool. But here we go. A bit of a retack from the pistol round. Plix holding a little bit of a different angle towards the Tempest area. The camera, I think it's spotted him out, but they do have a look in through towards the side of cage. It's only going to be good for one. Tavaro away needs to disconnect from this issue because his teammates are losing their lives. They're not in a vicinity to be able to hold down the fort of A. One player disadvantage right now for EXO Clan. The spike hasn't been planted just yet. Clutchy, great shot on to Iron. This round is certainly shaping up to be one for Gravitas.
Spike planted.
Yeah, they managed to get in pretty much free. Bob actually takes another player down, so it's going to get costly. He managed to pick himself up a Phantom as well, so Bob could cause some big damage in here. Oh, Sonic, he's actually found one under. Might not know that there's a second player. Bob, massive. Clutchy will seal the deal with 3 onto Crunchy. Last shot, but that's an expensive round for Gravitas.
100%. They lose a marginal players that they potentially didn't want to. You know, they're going to have to reinvest all their credits into this one, repurchase up all of those Vandals, the Phantoms as well. But you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing that Odin play to come out from Bob. It's the love-it-hate-it relationship with a Sova over on this B site. The wallbang to come through, even without the recon bolt to go. You know, sometimes they just do look to do it a little bit dry. One of the things, though, that I'm kind of interested in going into this one, because, of course, it's early stages for Gravitas. In Clutchy, you know, in talking with him recently, he's always a player that favored a duelist. So it's interesting to kind of see him pick up an Omen. I guess you could say it's likewise with Crunchy. We know that he is, you know, a Kovac king. He's very fluent in the aim, but he's down on towards an Omen. And start off, I guess, great from Crunchy, as you mentioned it. A bit of a caster curse, opens up for 2, and that's some big impact. Gravitas have bought into this round. No. They know overlook where Crunchy is hiding, and this is just going to be a bit of a bender for them.
Does he poke his own smoke? The barrel will show. Didn't check it. Yeah, Crunchy's been playing here all day so far, so don't expect that spot to get much value later on. Iron does fall, but it's a 1v4 for Menox. Can't imagine he'll get much done with that. So far, by the way, Plix 3 from 3 rounds on the read of where the opponent's going. Did manage to find it that time. They did find Crunchy instead.
I think one of the big things for Gravitas is on this attacking side, you know, maybe 5 rounds is what their target chase is going to be. If they can then get that pistol on the switch up to defense, it's, you know, going into this, we're never going to say that Gravitas don't have a chance, because of course they do. But it is, in my feeling, EXO Clan are going to be like pulling and tugging at the rope of Gravitas, right? They're going to be trying to pull it over towards their domain. You can see that Plix, as you said, has the reads and where everything is going. So it really comes down to when we get into the deeper rounds, so we get to the operator rounds, all the abilities, all of the rifles, it is going to be EXO Clan. I guess how many players do they drop, and are they balancing their economy if they do win the rounds? But I would love to see a world where Gravitas keep this competitive, keep it close, you know?
Absolutely, I'd love to see that. You hear the Jet ult coming out as well early. Getting slotted out, not getting taken down. Again, a second flash through the mid, so it looks like they are trying to get that mid aggression. So far, EXO's been leaving mid relatively open. They've been holding from the short position and really into the oranges there. The market area. It looks like they've got mid control though.
Pretty comfy to play a retake, I guess you could say, going into this. You know, it is going to come down to opening match, a little bit of nerves, but have you done your warm-ups beforehand? You would expect all the players to do so, and as you say, being a little bit of that passive approach coming in through mid. Now it's going to come down to, can they hold it off? All the dark covers go through. There's been a little bit of knowledge consumed by the breach and getting out its flash points. The aftershock. The Crunchy is going to open up onto Nerox. Blix is going to bring out the Empress, but is the crown going to go on top of that head?
Well, not just yet. Dizzy finds Clutchy, and Blix now starts to open up. He actually gets his head taken off one of the knives. Bob spamming through the door, being annoying, ruining everyone's ears. It is just one remaining for the side.
30 seconds left.
It's going to be as much damage as it can do, and he damages Ion all the way down, so that's another gun taken. But an interesting thing to note is Crunchy's early performance. Looks like he's playing very well. Looks like he's fragging out, which is something that I know that he hasn't been too pleased with his own performance recently in the recent matches that he's been playing. So it's good to see him bouncing back and starting to damage the scoreboard. See him sitting at the top of the pop right there.
Yeah, I talked about it the other day, you know, when you've got a team that is as capable individually as EXO Clan, you know, three extreme, heavy and dominant, you know, aim players in Crunchy, in Plix and in Dizzy, it can get a little bit, I guess you would say, disappointing in yourself if you aren't the player to be able to get out all of those kills. But at the end of the day, you know, it's a team game, right? So if Crunchy isn't, you know, per se getting all of the kills, you're probably going to see either Dizzy or Plix doing that. And if the team is winning the games, I guess, you know, the team is winning. So that's really good for them. But there's always going to be that momentum going forward to practice out and to make sure that if you aren't getting all of the kills, when you do go into the duels, just make sure that you are winning the ones that you are facing against.
That's right. Can't get them all. Of course, Plix and Dizzy will be taking away a lot of the kills. Oh, great shot now coming up as they're pushing into that A side. The blind comes through. Doesn't look like anyone's actually fallen just yet. A lot of utility, but not a lot of action. Plix does go down to Hunter's Fury, and Iron trades back, so it's a 1-for-1 trade so far.
Hunter's Fury is going to come on out as Crunchy gets out from the shadows to relocate himself. Expected to be at the back lanes of A. It's actually going to go into Wine. Has to make sure he doesn't get a little bit drunk. He does pick up Nerox. Spike hasn't been planted just yet as Dizzy Life starts to prod and peek one through. The reveal comes through as Bob will pick up Noz through the wall, and now it's just down to one. Dizzy Life to mow them down. That is a very good retake when the spike doesn't even go down for Gravitas. So no extra funds. All the members losing their lives. Only Plix dropping on EXO Clan. Really starting to balance out the credits, because you know that 9k cap, if you do lose a couple of rounds, you can pretty much be reaching into your pocket and see no change.
Well, that's right. And it was an expensive round as well. Only the Omen ult for Clutchy out on the board for Gravitas. So they really invested heavily on the ultimates there. Can't see a return. You don't get the spike down. You don't get the extra funds, and they're forced into a save. No operators coming out yet, Dion, which is an interesting one. Looks like Dizzy, he's happy with his Vandal.
Well, it's one of the things, isn't it? If you are comfortable in the rifle rounds, if you see yourselves continuing to gather them time and time again without dropping any players, you don't really need to be bringing out an operator. And you know, these in Valorant, you can always see your opponent's credits, so you know if they're going to be capable of getting out a purchase or not. So in these pistols of Gravitas, they have managed to drop Dizzy Life nice and early. Crunchy will be afforded the luxury of being in front of the Cyber Cage, but with all the aggression, with all the heat going down in through towards B, you know, at the end of the day, it is just these pistols from Gravitas. They have been able to convert a couple of kills, and now it actually gets scary. Gravitas have the player advantage leading in towards a B site, where no one of EXO Clan currently is.
Yeah, they don't have the utility on EXO to get this retake cleanly. You'd imagine Iron only on 5 HP.
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, very difficult without a Cypher ultimate to come through. Crunchy does actually manage to find the first one onto Clutchy, leaving it in a 2v2 situation. Headshots could be the name of the game for Iron.
I think in one of these situations, Crunchy needs to almost use Iron as a little bit of bait right now to be able to divert the narrative away from him, but Spikes picks it up. Iron's able to bring one back. 1 versus 1. Needs the headshot, and he needs it quickly, but the inch comes on through, and Cloxy misses a couple of shots. It looks sticky, but that is a thrifty round to come through for Gravitas. Although they only survive in 1, so the credits at the end of the day, you know, they will be able to purchase out what they want in this new round, but it'll be the same as EXO Clan. So cop that as it is. It's a bit of a loss. He has the boomstick out.
Yeah, it's a big investment, actually, picking up the boomstick and the Odin. So, interestingly enough, that's like the first time, apart from the anti-eco, they've actually managed to go to B, or went to B. They did a good read correctly. They went up mid and got some control there as well. So they are starting to branch off and try other things on the map instead of just going to A. The flashes do come through there. Bob's isolated. Pistol out looking for that recon dart, but in the meantime his team's going down. Dizzy and Plix picked off early days, both headshots.
And that's some big names going down as well. Iron is going to try and bring it back over towards this B site, but will he overlook the position in the close area of the stairs? And yeah, Iron, they kind of have no idea what's going on right now. Eventually, they will get the memo, but Crunchy, as he picks up Cloxy, they do lose Iron, and now it's in the vicinity of a save, though Crunchy, 1 versus 4. Is he even going to be afforded the luxury of doing so? Clutchy, stellar plays, all headshots coming through.
Yeah, a fantastic round. They managed to get some aggression out onto the B side of the map. It works out as well through mid. Bait them into thinking that it is a B execute once more, but meanwhile, A, nobody's home in A. So managed to get the plant for free, and from there, maybe they should have looked for a save, but credits weren't really a problem on the side of EXO Clan until now. You see Crunchy down to 600 or 400, 600. That's not hot. Iron down as well, very low. It's these operators, these Odins being bought in. It's awfully expensive.
Yeah, when you keep on purchasing out weapons of the high cost variety, you can be dropping down onto some ecos time and time again, and you know you need to be able to win those and bounce them back, or if it's a force buy, you know, even more so because you've gone into it with the knowledge and the assumption that you're going to be able to take it out. So if you do lose them, you're down onto those eco slants, and it can really steer you around. You know, EXO Clan are going to be a team that mentally they're going to be able to fight back through. Gravitas as well, with the experience that this roster does have. So it can get into an area where we may even see overtime. It literally could come into fruition if Gravitas are hitting all their shots, and there is a little bit of a slip up from EXO Clan.
Important. Bob didn't get to see anything with the drone there, but Plix does take the advantage, pushes it. This is the most important round probably so far of the game, because Gravitas win it, they'll force EXO onto a half buy or an eco, which might put us up at 5-5. And after a rocky start, Gravitas definitely would love to see that the cage goes out. That might block off market. He'll manage to get in. Bob actually here with the Odin. He's hanging around the area, so spam through that dark cover, but won't manage to connect onto anything. Looks like the site is relatively free. Now the spam comes out. Bob taking out spikes pretty
30 seconds left.
And the retake is on in a 3v5 situation. Surely EXO's favoured here.
Oh, they'll be favoured, but you don't say never. You can definitely see a way in which Gravitas brings this back if they contain out all of these shots. Clutch is going to lose his life, though, which does make things a little bit hairy, as Sova is the last one alive. Over on the lane area, actually, I lie. Noz was there. Narex is at the back of the site. He is getting punished through the wall, penetrated on down into the grave. He's 6 feet under, and that is a flawless retake to come through from EXO Clan over the B site. Someone's eventually going to take this defuse when everybody can upgrade their weaponry, but this is where we really get into the realm of EXO Clan. You know, they've at least tied out the half, no matter what now. They've gotten the 6th rounds, but now, you know, they've got 2 ultimates to play with.
Yeah, absolutely flawless, as the announcer says, and Bob getting a 3. It pains me to see it, to be honest. Spamming through the walls, I know it's a valid strategy, and it does take some good reading of the game, and there is a skillful element to it. But
one of the things with the Odin is that it is deadly accurate, as well as the areas, and quite quickly. You know, usually you'd think of a light machine gun of having the wind-up time where it is very, its spray is very wild in the beginning, but it is quite contained and it's very manageable, which is why you sort of see it come into play on Ascent for a Sova. They've got the information to tag out and reveal the opponents, and we know how paper thin the walls are in Valorant. Why not abuse it?
Absolutely. Dizzy doesn't manage to find himself in wine. The one-way smoke, though, does favour him, and he manages to get some tags on through, but the aggression won't be met.
Bit of a misc cloud burst to come out from Dizzy. The second one will be afforded, though. Definitely an A-sided approach for Gravitas in the early stages. Really does come down to, are they going to find an opening pick? You can already see that Clutchy's been taken down to around the 60 to 70 HP mark, just judging up at the little bar of HP we have at the top. The Blade Storm's been brought out for Gravitas as well. They definitely want to be explosive coming into this A-side. A minute left.
Absolutely. It's all going to kick off now as the Omen Blind does come in. The breach flashes come through too. They've managed to get a lot of ground, but no kills just yet. This is reminiscent of a previous round where they are able to get the spike down. Oh, this time it does look like they are planting now.
Yeah, this is where things could be quite concerning for EXO Clan. If they can't get in, they don't really have, you know, a Rolling Thunder to damage out and dissuade a little bit of the word I'm looking for. Stun. That's the one. Looking to stun a couple of players. But in breaking in towards the site, Dizzy's been able to find one. Crunchy as well. And now Iron. So they are making it look a little bit easy. But Rolling Thunder's now available for Noz. He will be pushed on through. And once again, just down to the Sova in Nerox. But Crunchy, he swings on through. He catches the headshot. And it is a retake to come through from EXO Clan. Surviving with 3. It balances out credits, they'll be able to repurchase and drop over if they need to in the next round. But, you know, Gravitas, whilst they're able to get into the site, they aren't able to contain it. It kind of seems like they need to get early picks and then divert their attention during the mid-round.
Yeah, well, you saw on the retake, those just the duels that Gravitas were losing out, unfortunately, to EXO, and that's where the key comes in. I mean, if you start to win those duels, maybe you get into an advantage on the numbers side of things, and then you do have the time for Noz to use his Rolling Fury. He didn't really have the time, he was stuck underneath. There wasn't really a good opportunity for you to use it there, and a force up into the round, they might actually see them go back to A, and have been favouring this A side.
One of the
very little success, but
one of the hardest things when you are playing under that held position of A, if you've got your opponent's Sova, you know, alive, they usually know all of those dart locations to be able to take you through. I guess the breaches aftershock can push you out, but by getting very aggressive into this round, no assertive plays to come through from Gravitas, and it's just being ripped apart right now. And whilst in the milestone, you've still got it in the 2 versus 2 now balanced equation. Clutchy is down to 21 HP revealed. Bob looking to try and just pick him on through. The shock dart will miss. Maybe he loses his life here, tempting fate, but there's still so much time on that clock. We could look for a disconnection over towards B. It's not going to be able to come into fruition. Those spikes down. Neural theft out from Iron. They know where Clutchy is, and you would expect it's only a matter of time before he loses his life. Does play himself over towards Heaven. The fake TP, yeah, comes on through. He's just trying to be a bit of a sound cue menace. He brings out from the shadows. He's so lucky to get away from it. He will cancel it. And Bob is looking the wrong way. Oh dear. But the Ghost will get it done. That could have gone the other way.
Oh my, if he had the spike, that could have been spicy, to say the least. But Bob didn't get caught with his pants down. He almost did. Clown Fiesta, but EXO Clan managed to get the 8 on the board, and they'll be very happy with their defense so far. This is a little fancy trick.
I've always never really... Vertical trapwires are an interesting one because, you know, when you see them, usually it's along the lines of you just look around it. You just walk around it. But I guess in the smoke plays to usually come through down on lane of the B site. I kind of understand it when it is put against the wall there, so we'll wait and see if anything does divert over that location. But that is a brilliant opener from Dizzy on a Spikes. He does not absolutely know what has hit Spikes in the face. Crunchy has also found one in the round. And, I mean, if you are Gravitas now, how do you look to bring something back?
Well, usually you turn towards the Ultimates to see if you could bring something back, but they don't have that Rolling Fury anymore. Was used in conjunction with the Neural Theft last round. It actually hit 2 players and could have been nasty for EXO, but they managed to disengage quick enough and they're going to survive it out.
They're going to be absolutely ready for this as well. The L-Drone's already gone in through B main, so Crunchy a little bit of warning shots over towards short. We'll see the duel. We'll lose the duel. This is where the hit you would expect usually Gravitas to be able to pull it on through, but I mean, it is the last round in the half. Everybody's going to be giving it what you can. Plix with the Empress, Bladestorm for Dizzy. I think it's already been brought out potentially right now. You do have the Hunter's Fury available as well, but over towards the mid peak in. Dizzy will find one, a second, and the round is pretty much done and dusted. Looking for a 4K would just be a bit of icing on top of the cake. Yeah, could bring the blades out, but
30 seconds left.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a flash from Noz to engage there, but might not have had the utility. Floxy, no chance there, unfortunately for him, but fantastic work out of EXO Clan. It looks like they're continuing where they left off. Really, and what we expect out of them, 9 rounds in a half, is definitely something that I'd be happy with.
Yeah, defensive side as well, you know, a sense one of the interesting maps where you can usually see a one-sided affair, or it can be quite balanced, although the attacking side can really be quite potent if you can get things collected and attributed to your team. You know, if everything is going in that momentum play, you can really be very punishing. So I guess now in the flip side, Gravitas, they've got a little bit of a mountain to climb. 6 rounds in deficit. That'll be a padding stance for EXO Clan, and if they find the pistol, I mean, it might be a little bit hard pressed for Gravitas to bring it back.
Yeah, it could be all over very quickly if EXO managed to get the pistol out. Does look like... My question is, what is Plix going to buy for the pistol? Because I don't know... What do you favor? Do you favor the Ghost or do you favor the armor?
For me, it kind of depends on what agent I'm playing on. If it's an Omen, for instance, I go Ghost, Shroud Step, and Paranoia. But if it's like a Breach is someone that I normally play as well, I go the Light Shields and then I get 2 flashpoints out. Because it really just depends. Like teams like this, you always got to remember the ranked experience is much different to the team dynamic. They'll have set plays on these agents with either picking around the shields or around the abilities. And usually, you know, a bit of a background. Some players will get out the shields and the abilities. Some might go for a little bit of an upgraded weapon.
Yeah, I think I like the raid boss strategy with the Reyna personally. If you got to play like Plix on your team, drop him over a ghost, let him armor
You
up.
drop one.
Yeah, drop him over a ghost, sure, why not? Like if I'm playing with Plix, then I'm definitely dropping him a ghost on the first round. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember as well, though, they are all
haven't they?
very capable. Well, we'll wait and see right now. A bit of a pause to come through from the players, which is A-OK with us. It is the half time, so make sure you get a little bit of a break, you know, go back to that strat board, change things over. You'd be a little bit, change of pace from your aggressive nature to your more passive nature. But I think one of the big things for me right now of EXO Clan, you know, I said that they do favor a bigger A hit more often than not with a little bit of mid exploration. We kind of saw that from Gravitas, right? They didn't really go over towards B. And I think one of the scary points of that B site in this game is usually Iron or Bob. They are so good at locking down that site. I can't count the amount of times they've either gone in for a flawless retake or they've just completely annihilated their opposition.
Yeah, Bob on point with the LMG spamming through the doors. It's quite hard to break through and rotate. You kind of need to almost wait for him to rotate off. It's not a site you can rush with any confidence. Speaking of Bob, on screen now, he's just gone up for the drone. I think he was the one that dropped over the ghost, so good guy, Bob. Clutchy was the star of the first half for Gravitas, you'd have to say. He had some clean taps, and him and Crunchy were dueling quite often, and it was pretty back and forth. I don't think either player really got the better of that one overall, so that's positive signs for Gravitas going forward, with Clutchy looking very, very sharp.
Kind of looking into a bit of the business deal right now, trying to just put away all your numbers, trying to sway your business opposition, your business partner, whoever you're having the meeting with. No firm handshakes to be seen just yet, but 50 seconds to go. Finally, we do start to see a little bit of more movement come out from EXO Clan, I guess you would say, though. I'm looking at that radar. I'm seeing Gravitas kind of disconnect themselves from that B site, which is where the spike is leading over towards.
Yeah, that's why I'm not buying stuff for myself, and I'm buying Plix a Ghost. He takes Clutchy's head straight off to start off the round and gets that overheal too. So he is
30 seconds left.
Out of his mind. Bob with the hour drone in sees that nobody's home.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a retake on the cards for Gravitas if they want to get into this round, and well, surely they do. Plix has managed to
timing.
He's finding the timing. He's finding
Oh
the
dear,
vision.
Conzi.
Oh no!
Oh,
No's got
Util's
his
out.
pants down.
No. Plix is just having an absolute bender around the grass location right now. Even afforded a reload because they missed shots with the classic. And Plix, he could have technically been onto an ace. Spikes will get the better of Plix in at the end. But I mean, if you were Gravitas, would you have considered looking at a little bit of a save when you've lost the B site completely? You know, you're going to concede the 10 rounds. They are going to look to go for it right now because they've, I guess, opened up for a little bit of a pick. The camera's going to go through some space. It's going to see no information. No one's at lane. No one's in the boat shed. Smoke's going to go down as well. It is going to be really difficult to get into water retake. You've got no real helpful utility, I guess, from the Cypher to get into it. You've already got Bob in the smoke lurking around, and now Nerox, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, or rather just Bob, who is going to right-click him out of existence. And for Nerox, yeah, a little bit unfortunate, I guess you could say, as Gravitas as a whole going to be taken down out of that round. They have to, I guess, take an eco now, make sure they've got that weaponry in the next round, where they will lose potentially the 11th round here to EXO Clan, and then any slip-ups, it's probably game over.
Yeah, quite an odd round actually coming out. It was a very slow pistol round to come through. Plix finding the opening pick, and then it kind of all slowed down, and they kind of stacked out onto that A site. Of course, it was the wrong read, but how are we to know? How are they to know?
Interesting that they do go for the force. I mean, I do understand it. You know, they take a force, they lose the 11th here if they do lose it out, but they know their opponents are going to be at a weakened state. Maybe concede over towards the 12th for EXO Clan, but a couple of shots come out from clocks here. Crunchy will get taken out nice and early. Iron on a Ghost isn't the famous weapon to be able to punch some damage and digits out against Spectres and a Stinger, so we'll wait and see if he can get out of it. Iron will be afforded, so Bob to find spikes, and now it is just going to be up to the A site. Trek for EXO Clan. Dizzy will have to lurk about. See what damage Dizzy will be able to contribute towards, but down to 15 HP. We'll play a little bit of a more passive route, and EXO Clan, I mean, they should be finding the 11th here, unless we see some really big brilliance from Gravitas.
Yeah, I think he heard the second player into spawn as well, so Noz
One enemy remaining.
won't be watching the angle, and Plix is holding a pixel angle, really, and takes out Noz through the wall. He, of course, upgraded to the Phantom. Could have got messy if there were some guns collected, but EXO Clan, they've got away with that one. Scot-free, pretty much, only losing the one player.
I think Crunchy would be a little bit fuming, to be honest with you, losing
You die to a
your
force
life.
on second? Yeah.
What are you doing?
You're slamming your desk, that's what you're doing.
Crunchy, cooking up a storm in the kitchen. For those of you that get the reference, shout outs. But Gravitas, now, they lose out that round. They have a little bit of an upgrade into this one with those pistols, but, you know, 12 rounds over to EXO when you only have 3 is going to be quite hard fought for, hard pressed already. You know, they've got to feel really lacking in this current junction. And, I mean, look at this. Cloxy's already been paranoid out. It's just an A-site explosion from EXO Clan.
Well, Iron does unload the full clip, so was caught a little bit there, but teammates are there ready to back him up. Plix goes down with the Phantom be recoverable though. I don't think so. The
good damage.
Fast shot out from Clutchy. He's been on fire really. I think he's 12 for 12 at the moment, so he's really stepping up, showing that he belongs in the server. Iron takes out the camera. Bob's got the drone now. There's drones on both sides that we're trying to get information. Clutchy does end up going down to Crunchy. Vandal in main a bit too strong, but
this is workable right now for Gravitas. 2 versus 2, even Steven Agent distribution, but it is going to be just down to Iron, and would you have it at that? The pistols, the carnage, the chaos, the assortment of information that was lacking, I guess you could say, from EXO Clan there, and Gravitas, they do win the thrifty. The pistols are better than the submachine guns.
Yeah, I mean, Spikes manages to find the kill early on in Plix and recover the Phantom as well, so that really opened the round up, him having that weaponry to duel evenly versus EXO Clan, and I don't know if his location was too known. He waited a little bit before he came out with that Phantom after killing Plix, so he really was able to turn it around there, and he turned it around for himself. He was having a bit of a rough go of it, but he shows that he belongs on the server too, taking out that round, and it was a big impact round for him too.
I'm seeing my favorite weapon in the game be purchased up right now. Thank you very much, Crunchy. I love
Guardian, is it?
the Guardian. I absolutely love it. It's so satisfying when you get the swift headshot.
I will say it is satisfying, but
it's hard to control. Don't get me wrong.
It's a bit wild. Speaking of wild, Spikes feeling it, goes and charges head first into Bob. Yeah,
definitely won't be happy about that one to be thrown through from the Gravitas Omen in Clutchy.
Not sure if Noz caught a glimpse of anyone on short. Clutchy's boy into main. So they're getting some map control here. But what can they do with it? They've, well, even it up. Bob's gone down. Clutchy to secure that. Nerox, is he going to check the close corner?
Oh, he sees it.
He does. The last second.
Oh, that's very ambitious from Iron to be able to just push straight through out in towards the site. Maybe got blinded out. Maybe didn't realize that the archway is what was walked through. But Clutchy, he's got a little bit of ambition known of your own demise. A 1-on-1 trade to come on through. Cloxy to bring something back into a stable sorts for Gravitas, but definitely a world in which EXO can bring it back. A reveal though, as Dizzy loses his life. Now Crunchy also only good for 1. Really good resilience to be seen from Gravitas in that round, but it kind of looks sloppy, you know, if you think about it. Some missed smokes, some missed kills. I guess sloppy in all nature because EXO Clan, they also got caught off guard, right? It's not like that round was just completely dominating of Gravitas. There's a little bit of assortments of some good things from both teams, some bad things from both teams, but at the end of the day, you know, there is still no one taking victory right now. There is still the Gravitas potential to bring it back. There is also, of course, the EXO Clan potential to win it, but look at the scoreline right now. 16 kills with Bob leading out the charge. You got 14 for Clutchy. Only player on that Gravitas team that has double digits so far.
Clutchy's been pretty solid so far. The operator to come out onto Cloxy. This could turn the tides. He's holding the right angle too, but of course, Crunchy in the cover won't last too long. So now the operator's been spotted. The Dizzy line from Jet has dashed through. The cage comes out and the eye goes through. So it's looking like a B play on the EXO Clan.
Yeah, contain things close in the proximity, close in the huggings around this map right now, but Cloxy will be able to find Iron. The pistols not looking very potent from EXO Clan, not even looking to have any impact into this round, as it is just going to be down to Bob, down to 24 HP. Will be good for no kills in the end, unfortunately, and that's what you want to see. If you're going up against pistols, you don't want to see anyone with those rifles, with those big weaponry, losing out the guns. So really well placed from Gravitas to not drop anything, and that'll instill a lot of more confidence into them moving into this next round, where EXO Clan will have a purchase.
Yeah, Cloxy doing a really good job to just give up that little bit of space, knowing that his teammates on B will be able to retake a watch from Market, and making sure he doesn't get overrun by the pistols and go down and give that big gun over.
Well,
Yep.
Speaking about big gun, what are we going to see Cloxy do now? Being able to find double digits off the back of that round. I think I would like to see, you know, EXO Clan go for a big aggression as opposed to Gravitas pushing for aggression on this defensive side. It's more often than not that you see the defensive teams on this map of Ascent be very passive. So I like the aggression. And look at that, it reaps reward. Clutchy able to find 2 massive openers on a Crunchy, on a Dizzy Live, and that just might bring this round into absolute favor of Gravitas.
Yep. That was over on B. Cloxy, to answer your question, he did find a aggression, but he actually wore a face full of bullets for his trouble. He got dinked through the wall, manages to survive and fall back. But it was Clutchy in that B holes, netting the first 2 eliminations of this round. Noz has managed to find himself onto short, into this tree area, just hanging out. They are playing very passive at the moment, Gravitas. They don't want to get overwhelmed. They don't want to give that player advantage back to EXO Clan or let them back into the round at all. Iron and Plix will try and work their way through here, and the timing means that Noz won't be watching.
Feels like EXO Clan might need to be top decking some aces right now, get out some good cards in their hand to be able to play with, to be able to land on the table, maybe even bring out a little bit of a bluff, but EXO Clan trying to break in towards the site of a Cloxy, even on that downgraded HP, a bit of Bogdan's Law to come out from another FPS title. But the spike goes down for EXO Clan, a little bit of extra credits. The Empress has been brought through for Plix. A shot will be found, jumping up so quick, but that's what we usually contain around Plix, isn't it? The ability to frag, the high potential in our region is stellar, but time's ticking away. Dawn to be blown out. Plix will be shot in the back by Clutchy. Now it is just down to Iron, also getting lit up through the wall, but will be good for one. Anything else will be a bit of a bonus, but Noz will trade it on through. Spike can be defused in at the end. EXO Clan, a little bit of a slip-up starting to be seen. Some well-strung along rounds from Gravitas. I believe that's, what, 4 or 5 now?
Yeah,
or 4.
I definitely think it's 4.
Yes.
If they manage to get this one, it'll be the 5th. But is the comeback real deal? Or are we getting debated by some great players from Clutchy?
Look, I'm never going to say never. Personally, I know that Gravitas are an extremely capable team. It's the honeymoon period for those players, as we did say earlier. You know, early days, this is their first official, technically, a handful of scrims during the week. But, you know, it's really good to see the resilience come out from this defense-sided team right now. You know, EXO Clan, you would expect to be feeling it a little bit on this attacking side. You can see that they've gone for a bit of a hero Vandal player in this round with the pistols to be brought out around it. So it could be a little bit of a surprising round if EXO Clan will be able to find it, but that's not to say that, you know, they will be able to, because Gravitas, they're stacked over towards this B site more heavily than expected by EXO Clan, but Dizzy Life will open up, and now anything can be played into the count.
Yeah, gets the knives out. Now gets the reset with that kill. Nerox does get one on back onto Bob Plix. It is just trading back and forth on the B side. This does favor EXO Clan, though.
Thrifty.
Yeah, looks like it could be a thrifty on the cards. Dizzy's actually managed to recover the operator as well. Disaster for Gravitas, but...
Do you go for it? I mean, you've got enough credits in your back pocket to be able to do so. You know that your opponents have kind of ecoed into this round as well. So EXO Clan are going to be equipped in the next round. Spikes is extremely capable, but all the positions being locked down. The operator, Dizzy, is just lined on towards Spikes. Needs a wide swing. Not going to come through the announcer to announce a thrifty in the round. That's 12. That's match point for EXO Clan. I think one of the biggest things, though, is, you know, these teams, it's 5 matches to be played in this Swiss stage, so definitely more to be seen from these two teams. But to start off in your opening match, to come out with a victory is always going to be well placed. But I think maybe for Gravitas, it is going to be the how are we going to tackle against the Titans? How many rounds are we going to be able to take over to them? Because, you know, looking at this squad and looking at all of the other teams, you know, there is always the potential of an underdog story. But Gravitas, you know, one of these invited rosters into this series, definitely would expect some wins from them.
I certainly think the wins will come. This is good experience for them. Dizzy now pushing up very aggressively. No knives, of course. He's just on the Phantom this round. Bob got out the Hunter's Fury to clear out a little bit of space. Crunchy TPing to be the king of the castle. Does find a player over the smoke, but loses the duel to Clutchy, so he'll go down. 4v5, but the site has been given up. But the Hunter's Fury does come back in the opposite direction. Clutchy manages to get the second kill of the round, but Iron's lurking around. He will get flashed out by Noz. It's full on the neural theft as well. Does go off.
It's going to be hard.
Dizzy with a 1v4 situation, he'd need something special.
Well, there is still 4 rounds of pillowing if Gravitas do win this round. EXO Clan now cemented that they won't be doing so. Noz to find Dizzy. Look how low 2 of them are, though, up in that top green area. Omen and Clutchy so low will jump up to get the different skin, the different weapon. Also, Noz down to 16 HP. Well placed, though, from Gravitas in a retake to not drop too many people. Only one player losing the life there. So, EXO Clan back to the drawing board, I think, maybe right now. Feeling the pressure of a potential Gravitas string of rounds again. They've already revealed that they're capable of dropping EXO Clan on the purchases, on the ecos. We've seen Thrifties as well. So definitely going to be a hard-fought round in this one. You know, it is those rifles to be seen from EXO Clan yet again, but the tendencies, the weaknesses. What have these teams found that they are able to put pressure on in this new round?
Yeah, it seems like there's not much to exploit. The defensive side definitely a lot stronger from the side of Gravitas. They look a lot more cemented in here. And now a short peek comes out from Cloxy with this operator. It does seem like he is far more comfortable with that in hand, but the off angle being played by Dizzy doesn't need a Sage to create some off angles on the Jet, of course. Nerox spotting out the camera of Bob. Doesn't spot the players. So now, information game is not really in their favor, and with one less player.
The only thing that Gravitas would love to see from a Sage right now is a revival to come on through to get a player back into the game, because a man down or a player down in this 4 versus 5 stance right now definitely is a round that Gravitas need to be finding.
So much time remaining as well. There is a lot of room to play with for EXO. They can go pretty much anywhere. Bob now sends out Owl and doesn't find anything onto the tree, onto the grassy area. So it will just be spewing onto A. The dart comes out. That will spot the player in heaven. Does do so. The wall bangs do come through, but not enough to scare Bob off the plant
30 seconds
twice.
left.
And this will be a full retake needed. The neural theft is there.
Yeah, but the neural theft, it needs a kill to be able to be brought into play right now. So Spikes is going to be hunting very ferociously for a kill. The rest of the squad will be doing so as well. They will clear out the tree room, but the passive approach from Iron will instead lose his life. They're going to turn around. Nerox has been able to find Bob as well. Only seeing 2 players revealed on the side. I don't know if anyone's looking at the flank to start to come into play as well, but Crunchy's going to be good for 1. It is just down to Dizzy. A 1 versus 3 approach over at the long A area. Going to be taken down by the aftershot. The defuse has already been started. This round is Gravitas's, as Spikes will claim Dizzy as his prize. And that, again, is a round that Gravitas are able to bring back in a retake stance.
Yeah, they had the crossfire there with Plix and Iron, but as the players pushed onto Iron, Plix didn't push through that dark cover. So Iron was kind of left out to dry a little bit there, and then Plix falling back onto the side, gets his caught as well by the neural theft, giving away his location. So a fantastic retake with very little utility from Gravitas, so showing they can get a little bit of inventive with it. There was a flash through from Noz to open it up.
The impact, though.
Beautiful impact. It's a massive impact for 1 ultimate used. That's a massive round to take out. Will force EXO onto a bit of a bargain bin buy.
Stay around your 2k mark. Make sure you can get all the weaponry out in the next round. But this is looking to be a big summer blowout right now. As EXO Clan, they technically do bait out the Rolling Thunder of Gravitas. The Stampede, the Storm to come in towards the B site. And that is a stupid shot to come out from Cloxy. Dizzy revealed through the boathouse as he will just claim it through the wall. I mean, paper thin walls. We know and love it in Valorant. But all things considered, it's a bit of an eco. It's a bit of a half buy to come through from EXO Clan. If they drop it, though, that's 12-10. And that is definitely scary for EXO.
It certainly is. Momentum all on the side of Gravitas at the moment. Iron with the Sheriff's going to get blocked off by the dark cover once more. So it's just a bit of a patience game. Maybe Bob and Plix will use their utility to flash him through. He's getting spammed out. Plix just jumps through.
Oh, diddled out of a kill. Iron had everything that was needed. Nerox will be able to find it. Clutchy to Plix. Well, Bob not able to attribute anything either. Spikes to close it again. Spikes has been really well played and seen to be closing out all of these rounds. And for, you know, I guess you would say on the offensive side, you'd love to be able to see Cyphers still play for something, because it is a kit that is more, I guess, defensive structured and everything. But that's not to say that they're out for the count. You know, players like Iron, players like Spikes, absolutely capable to do stuff on that offensive side. But this is where I do ask you the famous question: is comeback really going overtime?
Well, I don't know. It's very close. This is the round. This is the influential round. And Cloxy's got the operator. He's been comfortable on it. Clutchy's turning up. And now with Spikes having a much better defense.
I think
it could happen, but I don't know. Maybe the fairy tale's too good for a comeback for our
Well,
first game.
If the shoe fits, we'll wait and see. I wonder though if we're going to get a timeout in the next round if Gravitas do take this one. EXO Clan, a team that rarely would take timeouts from recent memory, so you'd love to see it. And Cloxy is going to start off by finding Crunchy. Definitely going to be yelling in the comms about that one. Risky indeed, as you say that, you know, but a minute on the clock. Gravitas definitely a leg up in this round. They can just play Payson now. They've got the advantage.
Yeah, Crunchy, maybe he was trying for a shoulder peek to pay something out, but it looked like he got his chest all the way out there, so he picked it raw and ended up paying the price for it. The cover is there from Spikes and Clutchy as well. They've actually managed to clean up. It's 3 players dropped relatively quickly beside EXO Clan, but they're evening it out. It is now 1v3 for Iron, and this round so very important. Now will turn the tides as Gravitas.
I want to know where the camera is right now for the likes of Gravitas. You can just see that the camera was being
30 seconds
contemplated
left.
from Spikes, but in towards the crosshairs. Iron gifting a free kill.
You can see the adrenaline in Spikes' system as he snaps immediately to Iron. He's on fire now.
This would be classic EXO Clan though, wouldn't it?
Would.
Drop a map early on and then bring it straight on back.
Yeah, well, I mean, dropping a map would be a disastrous result for EXO. The predictions would have been thrown in the bin almost. The notebooks thrown out the window. Yeah. But have a look at Clutchy. Isn't he playing out of his mind? 23 for 17, and they were getting absolutely belted for the first half of the game.
Yeah, Clutchy's having a ripper of a game in the kill department, in the maneuvering department of the roster of Gravitas as well. You know, it's not often, well, maybe it is often. You want to see your sort of non-duelist agent players be able to attribute more than just kills, and when they do gather up all the kills, you know, it kind of leads into fruition, I guess, maybe what is your duelist looking to do? Cloxy on the operator, and looking to lock down mid, stellar in all the kills that have come out. It's good. It's needed. It's amazing to see that, you know, players are able to adopt the non-duelist agents and still have massive impact.
Definitely is. Omen replacing Brimstone really as the smoke wielder in the meta. Allows you a lot more offensive
more flexible.
Yeah, definitely more flexible.
But now let's see the flexibility. EXO Clan, are they going to give Gravitas a little bit of the crumbs of victory, the crumbs to bring it into overtime, or are they going to rip it out from under them? Are they going to smash it into a million pieces? Because we do break in toward the B site, though. That Spike's over at A. You can already see the rotation comes through from Gravitas. We've seen this play. Gravitas have done this play on their offensive side. Our EXO Clan got to be able to do the exact same thing and catch him off guard. There's no one over that A site. You can see up on that radar there that Cloxy is contemplating the rotate back over towards A. The operator will need to be coming over here. It needs to be persuasive, and that's what Gravitas need to be doing in this round. This round is now EXO Clan's to lose.
Iron, no fear. Plants with the dart stuck in him. Dizzy actually just waiting for any sort of lurk potential that he could pull out, but everyone's already rotated. He's now progressing behind them. Clutchy will be watching and waiting, but all the knives used and the Bulldog. Time ticking down though. Gravitas are on the clock. They will get the first pick, but Plix is waiting with the Empress. Can he turn this into a massive round? No, he can't. It's a 3v3 back now as Iron gets Cloxy, so the operator out. Noz pushes around, tries to get out before the middle theft, and yep, there it is. Crunchy to seal it off.
They gave it to him. EXO Clan let Gravitas, I say let Gravitas come back. It was definitely well fought for, but there you have it, everybody. The first map, Road to First Strike, EXO Clan versus Gravitas. It's 13-11 in favor of EXO Clan. Two teams that were invited into the rise of a Valour here, and I mean, look, brilliant match.
Oh, absolutely brilliant match as well to see the Gravitas could get knocked down early on and then come back so strong as well in their first official. They haven't got the experience and the team bonding really to solidify that. So that type of performance out of them is really promising.
Yeah, that's one of the big things, isn't it? It's the proving grounds, I think you could say, for Gravitas. Are they going to be able to be bringing things together in a cohesive unit? Are they going to be able to, you know, mosey on through all of these bracketing systems? Are they going to see victories? Are they going to see close victories? Are they going to see big, difficult victories? I say difficult in the difference of scorelines, so the big easy ones, I guess I should say. Yeah, it really is the early stages for Gravitas. So I have to say, I think all things considered, they're going to be happy with the outcome and the verdict of this scoreline because they went up against the Titans in EXO Clan, who have proven themselves since the beginning of Valorant, essentially, in our region. So 13-11, I got to say, I think they'd be proud.
Yeah, it was certainly a baptism by fire, but they managed to survive for the most part, getting a 13-11 scoreline. It does go EXO Clan's way, so they'll go one up, and Gravitas will fall into that 0-1 bracket. I expect them to get their next game, though.
Ooh, it'll be interesting to see who Gravitas are going to play against in the next bit. I can't quite remember just who it is, but I do know who we're going to be seeing next, and I'm excited for the next one.
Oh, yeah? Well, it will be the debut of the wildcard roster under wildcard, so I can tell you're very excited for that one.
Yeah, No Tick, the previous name that they went under, was a team that I was personally, I guess I would say, invested in looking to watch the sort of, not so much as the history of the team, but what they're going to be able to build going forward. You know, the storyline of what they're going to be able to solidify. Because, you know, I always love teams that are able to steer the narrative away from the general meta of Valorant, you know, and I say that because Pixel, right?
Yep.
Bringing out a Sage in the game, that's something different that you don't see every day. And I like those sort of niche things.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see if there's niche things laying around the corner. We have to go to a little bit of a break right now, but up next is the wild card game you've all been waiting for.